No one builds pavement inhaling, high-octane drinking sport bikes like Suzuki with its tried-and-true GSX-R family. The GSX-R1000 represents the upper echelon of firepower from the Hamamatsu factory. This year, it's got something truly special with this brand spanking new 2017 GSX-R 1000. For 2017, Suzuki's completely redesigned this bike from the inside out. The engine's new, the chassis is new, the electronics are new, the bodywork, everything from inside to outside, the bike's all new. If you've had a lot of seat time on previous Suzuki GSX-Rs, you're going to be immediately at home on this machine. It has that signature Suzuki feel, from the ergonomics to the engine to the way it changes directions. It feels very Suzuki-like. And what that means is it's a motorcycle that you can really wield easily. The power is smooth, the traction control system is very linear feeling. Chassis, it's stable, it turns good. You know, this GSX-R 1000, it's a very well-rounded bike. Probably my favorite feature of the bike is just the way it handles. I really like the way it changes directions. Here at Circuit of the Americas, after turn 3 or 4, you have a section where you're going left, right, and you really have to get the motorcycle turned to get through that area with a quick lap time. And I've always really struggled in that area until I rode this bike. You know, even though it's got that inline 4 engine configuration that's a little bit wider than a V-twin, it steers really nimbly. You know, Suzuki only dropped about 8 pounds off the previous 2012 to 2016 GSX-R 1000, so it didn't lose a lot of weight, but in motion it feels very much more nimble. Also like just how connected you feel with the bike. From the time you get on the gas to the time you get on the brakes, there's a good amount of feel. Today we rode on Bridgestone's Batlax R10 race tire, which is a little more grippy than the standard Batlax RS10s that this motorcycle comes fitted off the dealership floor. Traction control, that was a big thing for Suzuki with this GSX-R 1000. Settings wise, it's maybe a little bit more rudimentary. It does have a IMU in here, which is basically a gyro and an accelerometer combined. It's the same kind of chip that a lot of modern technology has, and it gives the motorcycle situational awareness. For me, the sweet spot on the traction control was actually level 2. Level 3 was a little bit too restrictive. In level 1, I got a little bit more loosey-goosey than I liked. Level 2 was really good. I would have liked to seen Suzuki add some form of wheelie control. You know, if you're running in a real low TC setting and you get a real good drive out of the turn, the bike will wheelie. It will stand up on its rear wheel pretty easily. And a couple of times I actually had to chop the throttle because I got all loose and loosey-goosey. Like before, Suzuki's have always had solid gearboxes, and the 6-speed transmission in this thing, it works great. The gearing and internal gears are a little bit shorter. It's a little easier to keep this engine spooled on the pipe. Now, it's important to remember Suzuki went to a more over-square design than the previous GSX-R, which was even more over-square than the previous one. So these bikes like a lot of revs. They need to be revved. Speaking of revving, the red line actually increased on this motorcycle from 13.5 to 14.5, so the bike likes to play at high RPM. The engine power itself, it definitely has a lot of power, but I was expecting a little bit more hit out of the thing. Like I said previously, the power is very linear, it's very smooth, it puts it well to the ground, but I was under the impression that we'd get a little more top-end horsepower out of this bike. I'm sure with a slip-on exhaust or full exhaust and a reflash of the ECU, knowing Suzuki there's a lot more power in this bike, probably have to uncode it to get it out of there. I think Suzuki answered the competition well, but whether it's the best bike in the class, that is going to be something we have to decide when we ride all the bikes together. But I think it is a good base to have Suzuki regain its competitiveness in the 1000 class. You know, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more advanced traction control in terms of manipulation. It would have been great to see a quick shifter fitted as standard. Also would have liked to have seen a little bit more upgrade in the braking hardware. While Suzuki did fit larger rotors and make some adjustments to the braking hardware, the brakes still are prone to fade. I mean, this is 2017, and most
big 1000cc bikes don't have any brake fade, but this thing still does. I would like to see Suzuki really address that thing and have a little bit more consistent feel when you're really grabbing on that brake lever. At the end of the day, if you're a lifelong Suzuki fan, you've always really liked GSX-Rs for the way they sound, the way they turn, the wail of the engine, you're gonna continue to like this 2017 model. It's cool to see Suzuki finally throw in some technology at the motorcycle and trying to make it better for all of us who ride on the street or racetrack.